Hello, and thank you for joining me for the Executive Secretary webinar. My name's Catherine, and I'm a virtual assistant based in the UK. I'll be talking to you today about the transition from personal assistant to virtual assistant. If this is something you've considered recently or in the past, or something that you may consider in the future, then hopefully you'll find this webinar of interest and to give you a kickstart into starting your own successful virtual assistant business. Very exciting. As I said, my name's Catherine. I'm a virtual assistant. I'm now in my third year as a virtual assistant. I started my career back when I was 16 as an administrator. I worked on to become a senior secretary, a PA, and also an admin manager as well for the National Trust. I managed 11 administrators there, so it gave me a nice kickstart into managing. I thoroughly enjoy administration. I've always enjoyed organising. I loved being a PA, loved being a secretary. There came a time around 2015 that I found that working 9 till 5 for companies wasn't going to work with my health, so I had to find something else to do, and I didn't want to give up doing something that I thoroughly enjoyed. So virtual assistant has worked absolutely perfectly for me. It's not easy starting your own business, but it is terribly rewarding. It's thoroughly rewarding. It's amazing to have that work-life balance. As I said, I'm in Wales today. The sun is shining. When I finish this webinar, I'll be able to go and sit outside. So it's lovely. I will be showing you shortly some slides so that we can work through and talk through the transition. And hopefully it will answer some questions you may have or give you some ideas. Maybe you've not even considered being a virtual assistant, but by the end of this, you think, right, that's it, that's what I'm going to do. So without further ado, let me show you my slides and we can begin. As I said, this is me, Catherine Gladwyn, Delegate VA, and we're talking today about the transition from PA to VA. As well as being a virtual assistant, I've also written a book. I mentored new VAs to help them start their business, and also mentor VAs that are already set up and running their own business to help them move it forward and be successful. My book is called How to Be a Virtual Assistant. I didn't really think long and hard about that, did I? It gives you everything you need to start and run your own successful VA business. It's available both on Kindle and paperback via my website, and I've always got a copy with me, just in case, you never know. So what we're going to cover today, what is a virtual assistant? Just in case you don't know what that is, you're not expected to know, so I thought I'd put that one in first. Why being a business owner must be about you, especially this journey as a virtual assistant. The mindset of a business owner, is it the same as being an employee? We'll talk about that. What services you can offer as a virtual assistant. What services you won't offer as a virtual assistant. That's a really important one for me to talk to you about. An important one that everybody wants to know, I'm sure. What would you charge? A question that keeps coming up. I see it online. VAs that come to me that want to start their own VA, or PAs that come to me and want to start their own VA business often ask, is the market now saturated? And finally, how do you start? If it is something you want to do, at the end of this, you may think, yep, that's for me, I'm going to do it. How do you get started? On that note, let's get started. What is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant can be anybody. You can be providing any service, but you're doing it virtually. So you could be providing diary management to various business owners, but you're doing it from your home office. And you're self-employed. You're not an employee. So the mindset is you work with people as opposed to for people. You work for people as an employee, but as a business owner, you work with people. Virtual assistants offer all manner of skills. Don't worry though if you don't know any of these. It doesn't mean you can't be a virtual assistant. It just, everybody's got different skill sets. You could be offering social media management. You could be offering bookkeeping, diary management, event support, event management, travel management. Anything that you do during your day, you can guarantee there are business owners that want that help as well. Small business owners usually, but it is evolving into bigger businesses also using virtual assistants, and I can see that happening more and more. So as a virtual assistant is somebody that works from their home office, self-employed, providing support to business owners or consultants or other entrepreneurs. Finding your reason. I cover this in my book. It's about finding out why you want to be a business owner. It has to be about you. If it's because you think it's a great way to make quick money, or because everybody's doing it, or because you can't find a job somewhere else, or because some people do say that they want to be a virtual assistant so they can sit at home all day with the children and not miss out on their development, which would be absolutely wonderful, but not realistic. If it's for any reason other than for you, then it's not going to be as enjoyable, and it may not work. It has to be about you. I started this journey because I could no longer do the 9 to 5 for health reasons, Monday to Friday, killing myself. I could no longer do that, but I didn't want to give up being a PA and doing all the jobs that I thoroughly enjoyed. So I turned it around and became a virtual assistant. It's about me. It stays about me. My health is now better. I can control my days. I can work from Wales if I want to. I can work from anywhere in the world if I want to. It makes me happy, and it doesn't feel like work. I'm on holiday at the moment. Should I be recording a webinar? I don't know. But like I said, it doesn't feel like work, so I enjoy doing it. And when it doesn't feel like work, it's not a chore. Getting up every day won't be a chore. When you're running a business, you have to have that enthusiasm and that enjoyment, because your clients will feel it too. And that will be part of your success. So before you embark on a journey to become a virtual assistant, write down your reason and make sure that the top reason is about you, about your enjoyment, so that you can reflect on that and really help to push yourself forward to make your business one that stands out and is successful for a long time. Mindset. As I said, mindset of a business owner. Some people are shocked at all the different things that you have to do as a business owner. And that's actually a positive for virtual assistants, but I'll cover that bit in a minute. Is being a business owner the same as an employee? Similar in many aspects, but there's also so many hats that you need to wear, and I'm sure you're aware of many of them. I'm going to cover just a few now, and you'll think of more. I've got more in my book, but the main ones I've written down here and can think about now. Marketeer, you need to market your business. You need to be comfortable with not only marketing your business, but marketing you as well. People buy from people these days, so they need to see you, they need to get to know you, so you need to shout about yourself as well from time to time. It's very, very hard to do initially, but you will get comfortable with it. It's like with anything. Once you've done it a few times and nobody's thrown rotten tomatoes at you, you think, oh, right, then I'll have another go. I'll do it again. You need to be resilient. There will be people that say, not going to make this business work. You're charging far too much. There's too many virtual assistants out there. You need to just push those away. Go back to thinking, I am doing this for me. It is going to work hard and get it done. That's another reason why it has to be about you. It's not about anybody else. You need to be, this one I almost took for granted. I almost forgot to put it in my book for the traits of a business owner, is you need to be organised, because I just take it for granted that all us PAs are organised people. And I think the majority of us are. But of course you need to be organised, because you need to organise not only your time, but the people you support. You need to organise their time as well, especially if they're throwing lots of different work at you. I want diary management, I want travel management, I want you to sort out this spreadsheet for me. You need to organise your time. You need to prioritise. I couldn't think of the word then. You need to prioritise your workload. You need to be able to do all of that. Is that something that you do at the moment in your current role? If it is, then you don't need to learn that skill. Another thing that I've got written down as well is you need to be IT savvy, because we've all had it in an office. Outlook's down, brilliant. Whole internet's down, so while Outlook's down, I can't even look at Facebook. There's no Wi-Fi, I can't even look at my phone. IT aren't running around quick enough for your liking. You can't fix it yourself because you don't know how to do it. So you just sit back and do nothing for a few hours. You can't do that in your business. You haven't got an IT team there to help you. You can outsource the IT bits and pieces if you like, but that will cost you money. So it's good to be aware and to try and troubleshoot yourself. What I say to new VAs who are still employed is to spend a few days in the office thinking about everything that you do. And whenever you go to ask somebody a question, whether it's your manager, a colleague, or a different department, stop and think, can I answer this question myself? Can I resolve this problem on my own? And the more you do that, you can see exactly what skills you will need as a business owner, because there's not going to be anybody else there. Even the dog's not going to be able to help you, or a cat, or a neighbour. So think about what you do throughout your day as an employee, and see if there are any things that you need to add to become a business owner. I've also put on here that you need to be up to date. So you need to be up to date with your skills. If any of you out there remember Lotus 123, it was the early Excel. You need to get in, you're still using Lotus 123, then you need to start learning Excel. If you communicate with people via a fax machine, then you need to start learning how to use email. So have a look around, see what's new. Most of it, if you know something, you'll know yourself that you can easily learn a new program, a new package. It's always awful when Microsoft Word does an update, but we soon get the hang of it. So have a look around, see what other people are using, maybe speak to your IT team, see what's new out there with regards to computer software, and have a look, see what you can learn. Okay. The next one, services. So I'm going to cover here what services you could offer as a virtual assistant, but also to cover what services you won't offer. So first of all, the services that you'll offer as a virtual assistant can be anything that you do now, anything at all. So it can be diary management, as I said, it could be dealing with budgets, it could be creating Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, doing mail merges, everything that you do now in the business that you're working in. Small business owners, other freelancers, entrepreneurs, consultants, all need those things done too. As I said at the beginning, just going back a little bit, this journey needs to be about you. So that's something that if we can keep in our mind, and I'll probably keep saying it to keep it in my mind as well. It's the same with the services. I recommend to think about three things. It needs to be things that you love, that you enjoy doing, so that when you're doing these tasks for business owners, you're not sat there thinking, oh, I wish this would end. I've been doing this 3 hours now. You need to enjoy it. It also needs to be things that you're good at. There's no point offering a service just because you see other virtual assistants doing it and think, well, they're doing it, I better do it as well. If you're not very good at it or you don't enjoy it, then it's not going to be a cost-effective service for the business owner to invest in. If you're not good at something, they're better off going off to somebody else that is good at it. And finally, services that people want. So like I said, if all you do is send faxes at the moment, I know you won't, but I can't think of another example, then it's not going to be a service that business owners need or want. So if that would be the only service you would be offering, you won't have many clients. Going back to what you're good at, I said, if you see other virtual assistants offering services and you think, they're offering social media management, so I better as well. No, it's not. That's not how it works. Just because you see virtual assistants offering services doesn't mean that they're making a big living out of it. They're doing it because they enjoy it, because they're good at it. But it doesn't mean that you've got to as well. Always think about those three things, and then you will continue to enjoy what you do every day. What's mostly important to me is saying about the services that you shouldn't offer as a business owner. Because I see a lot of people, if I go back to social media management, there's a lot of people offering social media management as a virtual assistant, but they've got no experience in marketing or media or social media to offer that as a service. And we need to always think that we are supporting business owners. We're playing with other business owners' businesses. And as a business owner yourself, you will appreciate that once you're up and running. You don't want any Tom, Dick or Harry messing about with things that could go terribly wrong. And we've all seen things go wrong on social media. For the bigger companies, it can happen to smaller companies as well. So when thinking about the services you're not going to offer, don't include things that you don't enjoy, because as I said, it will become a chore, and it will be just like being an employee. And that's not what being a business owner should be about. You're supposed to be enjoying this, but you're making a better life for yourself. Don't offer services that you're not very good at. As I said, you're playing with somebody else's business as well as your own reputation. So don't offer things that you're not good at. Don't learn on the job. Don't think that by offering less of an hourly rate that you can offer a service you're not very good at and just pick it up as you go along. That's not how it works. Your reputation will soon be out of that window. And don't offer services that people don't need. So it could be something that you really enjoy, but people don't need it. So don't offer it, because it's just extra noise on your website or on your LinkedIn profile that people don't need to read through. As we all know, people are time poor. They don't have much time to be searching online for things they don't need, and everything is so fast paced these days. So avoid adding services that people don't currently need. That's not to say they won't need them in the future, but do your research and have a look around. Okay. The big one, and I call this hourly worth, because it's what you're worth. There are virtual assistants out there that start their business and come in £10, £15 sometimes less per hour than other virtual assistants are charging. And I can see the logic there. I can see that they're thinking if they come in as a lower price, then they'll be able to get all the clients. And then when they've got all the clients, they can up their hourly rate to what every other virtual assistant is offering. But it doesn't work like that. If you come in at a lower rate, you're devaluing the service industry, you're devaluing virtual assistants, you're making enemies immediately, and you don't need to do that. And you're also, if you're charging less than what I'm going to suggest you charge as a virtual assistant, then you're earning probably just above the minimum wage, if not below it. Because we need to take into account the computer software that we have. For example, for my Microsoft Office package, I pay $7.99 a month. I've also got a Dropbox account that I pay, I think it was about £70 for the year, possibly for that. I might be exaggerating that amount. There's other computer software packages I pay for. I pay for my website, insurance, data protection, etc. And when I take all of that into account, I have to take that off of my hourly rate. So if you go in low, you will be giving yourself less than the UK minimum amount. You also need to take into account taxes as well, whether you're in the USA, UK, I don't know about other parts of the world, excuse my ignorance, but you need to think about that as well. So what can you charge as a virtual assistant? What are you worth? You're worth a minimum of £20 an hour. In fact, that's going up quite quickly to become a minimum of £25 an hour. A minimum of 25, you can easily get £30 an hour, and there are also virtual assistants that charge more than that, and fair play to them. If they can get that amount an hour and they are absolutely worth it, then so be it. They're actually bringing up our hourly rate as a virtual assistant, so I praise them wholeheartedly. I charge £30 an hour. I did start off at £25 an hour, and I've slowly built it up, regardless of location. So whether you're in London or whether you're in the middle of Wales somewhere, it doesn't matter. You're providing a service virtually, so you can all charge the same. I would suggest a minimum of £25 an hour, and then if you work as a virtual assistant associate, which I can explain in a moment, and the last bit, you could charge £20 an hour as that. I'm not going to go into that much now. I'm going to say that at the end. Let me make a note to do that, because I will forget. That's the menopause for you. If any of you are going through that, then you will sympathise or empathise with me. Okay, so your hourly worth as a virtual assistant is minimum £25 an hour. That's not an exaggeration when you take into account everything that you have to pay for. And also, some business owners, if they're not aware of the expenses of having an employee, they may gawk at the £25–30 an hour and say, well, that's far too much. But when they take into consideration, if they had an employed personal assistant, it's probably about £10–11 an hour, plus holiday pay, plus pensions now, tax, national insurance. Do they pay that too on behalf of us? I think they do, don't they? Or do we pay that out of our wages? I'm not au fait with payroll. They pay for training. They have to pay for our electricity, our computer software, their own insurances to have an employee. So it's about the same at the end of the day. One question that you may have seen yourself, you may have yourself, or it's one that I see a lot, as I said at the beginning, and I also get asked, you know, I want to be a virtual assistant, but is the market saturated? And my answer is no. I'm very genuine, I'm very honest, I'm upfront, and if I thought it was, then I wouldn't be doing this webinar. I'm not one of those that says you can get rich quick, but if you do this, no. I really don't think that the market is saturated. I've not experienced it. In fact, I get new inquiries probably every week, every other week, from business owners wanting a virtual assistant. It's becoming more and more popular, especially now that more and more people know what a virtual assistant is. Also, as businesses downsize, or even as they're growing as well, it can go both ways. But as businesses downsize, they don't want an employee, they don't want that commitment. So they use a virtual assistant because they can pop in ad hoc and we can help as and when that business owner needs it. But again, as businesses are growing, so I'm a business owner, I do my own bookkeeping, I do my own marketing, I do my own social media, I do everything for my business myself. But if I get too busy, then it's going to get to a point where I'm going to need to outsource, and the virtual assistant will be my perfect go-to. So it's the other side as well. As businesses start to do better and better, they're going to need people to help them. Additionally, I think I also said at the beginning that I think more and more big businesses will start to ask for virtual assistant support as well. Again, they don't want that expenditure of a permanent administrator. They may not want that expenditure as a permanent administrator or a PA, somebody that they might not necessarily keep busy on a full-time basis. So it's easier to have a virtual assistant there instead. I do some work for a charity actually that can't afford a full-time employee. So they come to me as and when they need some support with, there's a bit of admin I do for them, newsletters, and also email campaigns I do for them as well. So yeah, I don't think it's a saturated market at all. I've certainly not experienced it. And if you're a good, genuine virtual assistant doing this for you, then you're going to succeed. Final one, how to get started. And I made a note about being an associate. So a lot of virtual assistants start off being an associate. They find an established virtual assistant, contact them and say, hello, I'm just entering the world of virtual assistant. If you've got too much on, I can help you with X, Y, and Z. It's a great way to get started. You obviously can't steal the clients from the virtual assistant, but you can get started. You can earn a little bit of money. You can start feeling how a business owner feels and guide yourself into it until you're confident to just let go of the reins and go and get your own clients. As an associate virtual assistant, you will charge less than you would as a virtual assistant, because the virtual assistant that you're working for has found the clients, they've done all the marketing, they're effectively having to manage you and cascade the information to you and also check your work before it goes back to the client. So they're doing a lot of the work. So they will perhaps charge £25–30 an hour, and they will pay you £18–20 an hour to do the work. So it's a great way to get started. I didn't start that way, but I wish I had. I think I would have enjoyed that, absolutely, and made a few more friends. But I started by just going in at the deep end. I contacted local businesses, one being a will writer that I still do some work for now. I also contacted friends, even if I knew they didn't have a business, because you never know who people know. I contacted one friend's wife. I knew she had a business, but I didn't know to what degree. I'd only met her once and we hadn't talked that much about it. So I just contacted her on the off chance that she might want some help. And I'm now in the 3rd year of working with her. I worked with her. She was one of my first clients and I've worked with her ever since. She's absolutely wonderful. So contact friends, relatives, previous employers, local businesses, like I say. Go up and down the high street, pop a business card in, get a cheap website set up so that people can have a look at your rates and your services, and away you go. I was still transitioning from employee to business owner when I got my first client. But you need to, not everybody can do that. You need to check with your human resources department and check your terms and conditions of contract as well, just in case there's any terms or conditions in there that say, no, you can't do that, because you don't want to lose your job before you've managed to establish yourself as a business owner. Okay, so that is actually everything I wanted to cover in this webinar. And I really do hope it's been useful. It's given you a little bit of insight. I hope it's given you a little bit of motivation to maybe think a little bit more about becoming a business owner, or if anything changes in your working life that means you need to make a change, then hopefully this might be something that you could consider. As I said, I've got some free resources on my website, howtobeava.co.uk, which I'm sure Liz will be happy for you to download if you want. And let's connect. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I'm also on LinkedIn, and it would be wonderful to connect and find out a little bit more about you. So thank you so much for being with me today. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I certainly have. I'm now off downstairs to enjoy a little bit of the sunshine, because I think it's going to rain in a couple of days. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you online. Take care. Bye-bye.